Bitter truths about life you need to know. Certain illusions that we are given about life provide us with a certain level of comfort. These illusions include the notion that good things come to good people, that hard work always pays off, and that happiness is something that we can achieve and maintain for the rest of our lives. Particularly when we are young and have not yet been exposed to the harsher aspects of life, it is simple to buy into these various notions. On the other hand, as time goes on, life starts to disclose itself in a manner that is gradual, painful, and without any apologies. It is then that you realize that the majority of the information that you were provided was either only partially accurate, unduly romanticized, or simply incorrect. People eventually realize that the world does not owe them anything, which is one of the unpleasant realities that they realize. There is no respect, and not love. It was not a success. Regardless of how generous, creative, or motivated you are, life does not reward you for your efforts simply because you put forth effort. It's possible to do everything right and still fall short of your goals. Even though you put a lot of effort into your profession, you might never achieve that promotion. If you give someone your heart, you can be left with nothing but silence. The universe does not maintain a record of time. The attitude is indifferent. It is not cruel or friendly. It is simply indifferent. As soon as you stop expecting things to be fair, you will begin to develop genuine strength. When you are in a chaotic situation, life becomes less about waiting for justice and more about establishing your footing instead. Is there yet another sour reality? The vast majority of people are uninterested in your issues. They are simply too preoccupied with their own life, and it is not to say that they are evil. Even though you frequently find yourself lying awake at night, worrying about what other people think of you, the majority of them are not thinking about you at all. There is freedom in it, even though it may feel alienating. When you realize that the opinions of other people genuinely do not play a significant role in your life, you will cease living for their approval. You are free to speak your truth, pursue your passion, and even fail in public. And the majority of people will continue with their day. Their disinterest, for some strange reason, turns out to be a gift. Then there is time, which is the most deceitful adversary that each of us faces. Young people get the impression that time never ends. You believe that there is always more. More opportunities, more summers, and more things to come tomorrow. On the other hand, you won't feel the weight of it until you look back and wonder where the past 5, 10, or 20 years have gone. Time never takes a break. It does not care that you are not prepared, in addition to the fact that it will not slow down because you are stuck. If you are waiting for the right moment to pursue your passion, end that unhealthy relationship, or begin over, you should be aware of the fact that perfect timing is a fallacy. There is no time for your uncertainties in life. The fact that happiness is not a state that can be maintained throughout time is perhaps the most devastating truth. The idea that life is about being happy all the time is a falsehood that has its roots in imagination. But we have been sold the idea that this is the case. Joy is ephemeral. It is a state of mind, not a destination. It is a moment in time. In addition to experiencing highs, you will also experience deep valleys. On certain days, you will experience delight for no apparent cause, while on other days, you will be confronted with despair without your consent. To pursue happiness as if it were a destination in and of itself is like attempting to carry water in your hands. Try to find peace instead. Find the meaning. The sugar high of transient happiness is not nearly as sustainable as those sustainable alternatives. And despite how difficult it may be to acknowledge, relationships, especially the ones that are healthy, do not always endure. People become more apart from one another. Love is fading away. Friends might shift over time. Despite your best efforts, there are occasions when it simply runs out. And certainly there will be times when you are the one who causes something to break that cannot be repaired. The human experience includes things like that. Learning how to let go without giving in to feelings of resentment is a difficult task that must be accomplished. If you continue to pick at the scar, you will never be able to fully recover. Moving on is painful, but it is frequently the most kindest thing you can do, both for yourself and for the person you are moving on from. The realization that no one is going to come to your rescue is a more profound and existential truth. This includes not only your partner, but also your parents and your friends. It's possible that they love you, and that they do their best to assist you, but they can't walk your journey for you. There is no miracle cure, and there is no life expert who will perform the work for you. There is no one else who can save you from the mess that you are now in but yourself. The moment you decide to stop blaming the world, your past, or other people for your current circumstance is the moment you will regain control of the situation. Even though it is a solitary form of power, nonetheless, it is power. Additionally, here is something that you will never learn in school. You will never feel like you are entirely prepared. It is not possible to eliminate fear via preparation. It is more common for confidence to be something that comes after action rather than the other way around. It doesn't matter if you're quitting your job, beginning something new, speaking up, or walking away. The majority of the time, you'll have to take action before you feel confident. Embracing discomfort is a necessary step on the growth path. As long as they wait for certainty, individuals will continue to live lives that are average for decades. The unsettling awareness that not everyone has a happy ending is another thing to take into consideration. Even if you put in your best effort, there are occasions when it is not enough. All too often, the people you care about pass away much too soon. There are instances when your utmost aspiration simply does not materialize. That's the way life is. In the third act of a movie, everything does not necessarily come together in a completely satisfactory way. Nevertheless, this does not imply that it serves no use. You are the one who creates meaning amid the chaos, the detours, and the calm moments that no one else sees. Meaning is not something that is given to you. Last but not least, the absolute most widespread misconception is that you are expected to find yourself. That is not the case. It is expected of you to construct by yourself. On the other hand, you are not a finished object that is hidden somewhere and waiting to be found. A work in progress is what you are. What you do, what you overcome, and the choices you make daily all contribute to the formation of who you are. Being is a difficult and often painful process that is the only way to discover who you are. There is no magic map to your identity. Every blunder, every setback, and every unsettling decision adds another layer to the situation. Consequently, you should cease waiting for a moment of enlightenment. Begin to show up, even if it's a chaotic situation. The reality is that life is not simple, and it was never intended to be that way. But there is beauty in its difficulties, a beauty that cannot be found in superficial comfort or in victories that are easy to achieve. It is not necessary to become apathetic or icy to accept the harsh realities. The first step is to develop a clear head. Developing resiliency and acquiring the skills necessary to manage a world that does not always make sense are the goals of this endeavor. The reason for this is because once you stop expecting life to be easy, you begin to discover truly powerful strength. Also, along with that power comes a more profound sense of calm. This is not because life became simpler for you. Rather, it is because you become more adept at living it. If this spoke to something deep in you, don't just scroll away. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment sharing which truth hit you hardest. Let's make space for real, honest conversations that go beyond the filters.